Kate has just wrapped up a long week at work. Wanting to unwind, she decides to take the new autonomous taxi service to head to the park near Riverside South to enjoy the beautiful evening. She books a taxi service from RoboCab's app. This is her first time trying out this new autonomous ride service. As it rolls forward, Kate glances out the window. There are students and cyclists pass by. The car goes smoothly, but Kate is still a bit concerned due to the absence of the driver. As the car rolls onto the ramp for Highway 417, she opens the app to discover some new features. Soon, the vehicle becomes trapped in the bumper-to-bumper traffic. The constant stop-and-go motion triggers an unpleasant sensation, as the taxi has extended safety features that are sensitive to acceleration. The combination of frequent braking, poor airflow, and tailpipe exhaust from the car ahead begin to make her feel dizzy. She tries to focus on the radio. A local station is discussing how Ottawa's municipal government is rolling out new regulations for autonomous taxis. As the car gets close to the park, a group of children catch her eye. They're feeding ducks by the water, laughing under the golden evening sun. The light, the motion, and the innocence give her a moment of calm. When the car finally stops and the door opens, Kate steps out into the fresh air. She inhales deeply. The ride has not been relaxing at all. Despite all the promises of smart mobility, she feels more like a passive passenger in the machine optimized for efficiency, not for well-being. This ride got us thinking, what if we mapped out everyone affected by this one journey? According to Freeman et al., value-sensitive design takes into account of different values held by different stakeholders and identifies potential clashes between them that they may have. Let's take a closer look at our key stakeholders. First, Kate, the passenger. She values having an affordable ride, being safe, and having privacy within the cab. She also expects safety, comfort, and a degree of autonomy, like the ability to request a stop or choose a different road if she suddenly feels unwell. And crucially, she expects to be treated with care, not like a data set on the dashboard. Second, pedestrians. Their experience of the road is vastly different. They're vulnerable, they rely on social cues, expect equitable access, especially if they have accessibility needs, and often trust drivers to yell even in unregulated intersections. Third, the City of Ottawa. As a regulator and infrastructure planner, they prioritize public safety, urban planning, environmental sustainability, and ensuring equitable access across neighborhoods. They hold the power to define rules for AV operation, but also depend on data from these vehicles to plan future developments. Fourth, the autonomous car designers and engineers. They value efficiency, safety, and innovation. Their goals are to reduce accidents, enhance usability, and create a product that captures market share, balancing technical performance with cost effectiveness. Finally, urban wildlife, which is often overlooked. Animals experience cities too. They migrate, forage, and sometimes cross roads. But in the logic of machine navigation, these moments are often seen as inconvenient obstacles instead of living beings.
As we explored the design of RoboCab, we realized many of the issues were not just ethical, they were social breakdowns between people and systems. Take Kate's ride. It wasn't unsafe by legal standards. The car followed traffic laws and got her home, but it still failed her. Not technically, but socially. The car didn't understand the unspoken rules of the road. It couldn't communicate with the pedestrians, make eye contact with drivers, or sense Kate's discomfort. She had no way to speak up, slow down, or reroute. That's why we use social failure mode analysis. According to Miller 2020, social failure happens in two ways. The absence of supported norms, when tech doesn't provide the social cues we rely on, and norm transgression, where it violates moral expectation. Autonomous taxis powered by systems like Google Maps are vulnerable to both. We map everyday cab ride norms, asking to stop, changing music, or even small talks. These all assume a human driver who can respond socially. In autonomous vehicles, those norms vanish. We identified two key failures. Loss of social communications. Autonomous vehicles cannot honk or gesture in culturally appropriate ways.
If an autonomous taxi like RoboCab is using Google Maps to decide how people travel, what values are embedded in that navigation system? That's where ethics settings come in. To better understand this, we analyze Google Maps across 4 key dimensions: high versus low stakes, expert versus non-expert input, fixed versus variable rules, and the impact of default settings. For example, speed limit alters are high stakes and legally fixed. In contrast, route preference are low stakes but still reflect values like fairness or comfort. Accessibility features are for equity, but they often miss key factors like slope or terrain. When we looked deeper, we found several ethic gaps. Google Maps doesn't prioritize safer routes for women and children at night. It lacks strong support for wheelchair users, and it fails to adapt in emergency situations. Perhaps most surprisingly, it completely overlooks the needs of passengers prone to motion sickness. So, we will put emphasis on this part.
Passengers with motion sensitivity, respiratory conditions, mobility issues, or anxiety often struggle with current systems. This is especially true in autonomous vehicles, where they can't ask the driver to slow down, pull over, or take a smoother route. We also found articles and user reports that AVs are more likely to cause motion sickness than human-driven vehicles due to their braking patterns, stop-go navigation, and rigid route following. This is a serious gap in passenger care. So we asked, what would it look like if a navigation system treated wellness as a core design principle? We redesigned the AV navigation interface to give passengers more control over their ride experience, especially when it comes to comfort, accessibility, and wellness. At first, we considered having 2 separate ride options, a regular ride and a wellness ride. But this created a binary where wellness felt kind of like an add-on. In our earlier analysis, we identified a moral norm transgression. Passengers currently lack the power to modify AV routes based on personal needs, like feeling sick or needing a break. To account for this, when the user selects a route, they can access a new panel titled Adjust Your Trip. This section includes toggles for avoid tolls, avoid freeways, which are controls usually available to the driver, and a new Enable Road Sickness mode. The wellness toggle is carefully labeled and contextualized. It prioritizes cleaner, smoother routes and includes a transparent note, may increase ride cost, to help users make informed decisions. Once the route is selected, the confirmation screen adds a layer of personalization. In addition to showing ride details like time and price, passengers can now configure their road sickness mode with 2 options. 1. Motion cues. This shows moving dots on the dashboard to help the user visually anticipate movement. While Apple and Google have introduced motion cues at the OS level to reduce motion sickness in mobile interfaces, navigation systems like Google Maps have yet to integrate such features within the in-ride experience. 2. Highlight rest stops. This allows the AV to slow down or stop at designated points when requested, offering a safe option to pause if passengers feel ill or uncomfortable mid-ride. We also tested timing of these controls. Some wellness settings like motion sickness preferences can be configured before the ride begins.
While our wellness mode seeks to restore user autonomy in autonomous ride, it also introduces complex ethical trade-offs that must be carefully navigated, meaning that machines lack moral discernment. Like human drivers, RoboCab cannot distinguish good vs bad reasons to stop. A request to pause a ride might stem from genuine motion sickness or from harmful intent. Human drivers often rely on contextual judgment, body language, and experience to make in-the-moment ethical decisions. Machines, by contrast, lack these nuanced filters. However, edge cases exist in human cases too. To account for this, we use predefined options, radio buttons, toggles, instead of open-ended controls. This means users can personalize their ride only within guardrails the system understands and can safely act on. We propose that RoboCab interprets wellness requests using multimodal inputs, such as location context, ride history, and behavior patterns. His journey may have been uneventful in the traditional sense, no accidents, no major detours, but it reveals something deeper, the need for design that respects not just speed and safety, but experience, care, humanity. Autonomous vehicles promise to change how we move, but to do so responsibly, they must move with us, not just around us. Because when we center well-being, not just optimization, we build a future where everyone's journey matters.